My guest at this time is Ursula Palmer. She's a Gold Star widow whose story will be told Sunday at the National Memorial Day concert on the west side of the U.S. Capitol. She joins me now to share a lot of that story. And Ursula, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Before we get into the worst part of your story, tell us about your husband and your life together before he went off to war.
Well, we met when I was teaching Spanish. He was one of my students, and that's how I first met him. Several months after he finished his semester with me, we started dating, and that's how our life started. He was in the National Guard, so he would go to, he would be the citizen soldier. He would go to his drill once a month, and he would go to annual training 2 weeks in the middle of the year, and he would have his, regular job. For me, it was never a question of, he's, going to work. He always told me, I'm in the National Guard. If I'm deployed, it's going to be a stateside. So that was our life. We just were, trying to make a family. We had our daughter, but then that was in the middle of September 11 happening. And when that happened, everything changed. Being the type of soldier he was, he just knew he had to do his part. He knew his unit would be called to active duty at some point, but he saw another opportunity to volunteer for a specific mission. And he said, look, I know you're scared about me having to go, to deploy, but let me do this on my terms. At that point, Iraq was the place that was more dangerous, let's say like that, where most of the deaths were happening. Afghanistan was, let's say, more quiet at the point. So that's how he introduced it to me. Let me do this on my terms. I need to do my part. This is a great mission. I want to go. Afghanistan is safer. Let me do this. So, of course, at that point, what else could I do but to support him? And that was really just a few years into our marriage. So there he went. And that's how it really, our life began and really ended.
So he's sent to Afghanistan, Ursula. How long had he served there before you got the call that changed your life?
At that time, deployments were about 15 months, so he had training for a few months in 2006, right after he volunteered. Then he went to Afghanistan for a year, starting on January 1st, 2007. And then he was about 2 weeks from coming home, and on January 2nd was when, he was injured by the IED.
How did you find out?
Well, when he went into this last mission, this was a mission that he also volunteered for. Generally, when our service members are in theater and they are getting ready to come back home, they are not sent to any of these missions. But his team was a new team just coming in, and he didn't want to let them go on their own when he was one of the people who knew the area, the area better. So he volunteered to go. He said, look, I'm going to go. I know I'm about to come home, but I need to do this. I will charge my phone, and I will call you every day for a minute just to let you know that I'm okay. And we'll make it, very short so that the charge lasts all the 10 days of the mission, hopefully. So he did that every single day. He called me. The last time I talked to him was December 31st. Then January 1st came, and he didn't call. But I said, okay, I gave myself all of the excuses. His phone finally died. There's no coverage in the area. He's in the middle of the mountains of Afghanistan, of course. So, again, I gave myself all of the excuses. Then January 2nd came, and I went back to work, and still he didn't call. So I started to get a little bit worried. But again, my mind kept telling me, no, it's just you're paranoid. He's okay. He's coming back. He's at the end of the mission. And then at 1:32 p.m., I received a call. Someone on the other side of the phone said, Mrs. Bowen, this is Colonel. And once I heard the word Colonel, I knew something horrible had happened. I couldn't understand anything else. I couldn't understand his last name, nothing. All I heard is, I'm Colonel, and I knew that my life was changing at that point. He immediately said, look, he's not dead, but he's severely injured. And then after that moment, just, of course, our life completely changed.
How much longer did he live?
He survived for 2.5 months.
What do you think now of his service to our country?
He gave his life for our country so that we could continue with this way of life, so that, we simply, his daughters and everyone here could continue to enjoy the richness and all the wonderful things that this country provides, and that is only possible because of people like him.
That is absolutely right. Our condolences for your loss. I know it'll be an emotional time for you on Sunday, but we're glad that your story will get to be told. Thank you very much, Ursula, for your time today. We appreciate it.
Greg, thank you so much.
Ursula Palmer is a Gold Star widow whose story will be told Sunday at the National Memorial Day Concert on the west side of the U.S. Capitol. I'm Greg Columbus reporting for Radio America.